What's up, guys? So today's a Saturday. I'm looking for some new lion's mane product right now, and there's this company I found which is really good at actually. Here, I have to delete some stuff here. There you go. So I found this company called Nootropics Depot, and it looks like they're one of the top guys for nootropics. So, and I heard they have a really good lion's mane blend. So we're gonna get some of that. It was lion's mane. Oh, there it is. Urina Max. This is the intense stuff. Now this is really intense lion's mane. Now this is what I need. I'll probably just get on him. Oh shit, it's coming in. It's gonna take way too long to get here. I mean, I don't need it right now, but try it out. So I'm gonna finish out some SOPs. I want to try to finish by Monday because there's a couple bugs on Offer Blaster that I need to fix pretty much ASAP. I sent it up to the team to document. So yeah, today's SOP writing. I usually pretty much have nicotine every day for my focus support. I'm not going to be taking my nootropic stack today just because I want to cycle on this stuff because there's a lot of good stuff in here. I can't read that, but definitely want to cycle this. Now as far as mushrooms go, I get this mushroom product from the farmer's market. So this is legit stuff. But what I found was this company actually went above and beyond the fruiting body, and pretty much extracts lion's mane once before it turns into fruiting body, which apparently is more potent. Okay, so we're gonna get some work done here. Okay, so I think I refined a couple SOPs, and then now we're working on a streamlined A2P process. So pretty much what A2P is it's called application to person, and it pretty much allows you to use texting capabilities on platforms like Twilio and such and such. It's a thing that is enforced by the TCR for businesses to register their business. Only U.S. businesses can actually get approved for A2P, I think. And if you're not an actual business with a good standing LLC, you cannot be A2P approved, meaning you cannot actually use SMS capabilities through platforms like Twilio and such. So any platform, not just Astro Blaster, Aria Reply, Launch Control, all them, Batch Leads. I think Batch Leads actually discontinued SMS because of A2P and the restrictions coming up for SMS. So what we're doing now is that I want to make sure that our A2P process is a lot more streamlined than it is already. We want to be able to, the thing we need from our customer to do A2P for them is an EIN form. And kind of noodling right now if we should collect that on our onboarding process or not, because it is a kind of a big thing to ask. But maybe, I don't know, maybe it makes sense. It's just like when someone comes onto the platform, someone may not know what A2P is and may not have an EIN form, but they can skip it. Maybe we can have an option to skip that part, but it is crucial to be able to get that information, collect that information. Because right now our A2P form, we have to collect the business address and all that, and it's a lot of friction points. And I'd rather for us to just do it for the customer because we want the onboarding process to be as simple as possible for our customers, as less friction points as possible. So on our onboarding form, I think we're going to structure in a way where we have an intro video on there of a welcome. Next page is going to be like, hey, this is what A2P is. This is why it's important. This is why we need your EIN form. And then I think that's how we'll collect it. So I'm a noodle on that right now. It's very important that we do because as long as we get that EIN paper and as long as they have a good standing LLC, if we submit it for them, we'll get approved 100% of the time. If not, it's something you usually do on the customer part. But we have a process right now to get 100% A2P approved, guaranteed for brand and campaign. Brand is really easy. Campaign is a little harder, but we've kind of cracked it. So I'm on the way to NAR right now. It's a Saturday night. We're going to this hookah bar. It's really, really, really nice, really, really chill. Brought my laptop with me and we get some work done. I'm be working on some SOPs and to streamline our A2P submission process. So all we really have to collect, or all we really need from our client to do the A2P thing is we're gonna need their EIN doc because that confirms they have a good standing LLC. So we use that as the legal business name. Then as for friendly business name, we'd probably have to take their company name or something like that. But I think that's already collected at checkout. I don't know how we're gonna do friendly business name. They can change it later. I think really all that matters is, I guess I don't know how we do friendly business name. That's what we're gonna do today. So we're gonna strategize that out and think how we're gonna kind of attack that problem. But we're gonna have an intro video. Next step would be drop in your EIN paper. Maybe what we can do is do some sort of like maybe form submission type of thing. Problem is the form submission doesn't carry over with documents. So I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm working with the founder of Extendly, which is really nice because I get direct communication with him, so we can explain our use cases very well. So our use case was, hey, we want to be able to collect EIN documents to be able to submit A2P on our client's behalf. So we're gonna have to have a policy that they agree with and such and such and such and such for the A2P. Because every time you submit A2P, it's like a $20 charge. So we want to not have any failures, so we don't have to resubmit. So that's why it's really important right now to focus on making sure that A2P, our A2P kind of process is as streamlined as possible, because that's the only way clients will be able to text. As far as offer blaster stuff and system related stuff, we have a team member working on that, and we're getting another product person on to help out, just speed up the projects and making sure that we're not falling behind on due dates, because we have a ton of stuff happening, ton of projects happening, and I want to make sure that projects are getting moved at pace. And as a business owner, this is what you have to do on Saturday, Sunday nights, or all of Saturday and all of Sunday. It's just the same day as any other day. I'm a little more relaxed on Saturday, not Sunday night though. Sunday night, because Sunday night is next day is Monday, so and I cannot be slacking on Monday. Monday I have to absolutely be locked in. So I never sleep in or sleep late on Sunday. Saturday is a little easier, but I try not to. I'll probably be home at around 11, depending on how my schedule goes. Probably 11. So that's kind of my schedule for that stuff. So Saturday is really the only day where I can be a little playful with my time, or a Friday night. But that's not me saying like I'm going out and like drinking and partying and stuff. That's more like, you know, I can stay out a little later to get some work in, or just to hang out and do whatever. But I won't go and drink alcohol. I'll go have fun every now and then, but right now I'm in a season of like, man, I can't be fucking around right now. And as much as it's tempting, right now I'm actually glad that no one is in Houston, because if there was, everyone would be asking me to do stuff, and there would be so many distractions. So I'm actually glad everyone moved out for college, because there's a lot less distractions now, and it's just me and me only. But once I really make it, you know, that'll be where it would be a good time, good times, and that's where most of my day will just be meetings and meetings and meetings, and I'll have people executing on my behalf. So that's kind of the point where I want to reach, is like most of my day is just meetings, and if it's meetings, that means I can be where the fuck I want to be. I can be in fucking Singapore, or fucking the Philippines, or Canada. I'd love to be in Canada. I love Canada. I love Vancouver. I think the weather's perfect there. I think the people are great. I want to visit Europe. I want to do all these things. But I can't do that unless I can fully detach from my business. And I say fully detach. When I say fully detach, it's not mean like I don't want to like work. It's like I want to be able to not have to be, the business have to be so reliant on me, but to be able to have other people in place to operate the business, and not only operate the business but also grow the business. So like, if in 3 years I ask myself right now, Andy, are you able to take a vacation for 30 days and your business is still able to grow? Not just maintain, but to also grow. Because maintaining is one thing and growing is another thing. That's what makes a valuable company, is you not being able to have to be there, and then the business is growing while you not having to be there. So that's really the place where we want to be, is in like 3 years. Can I answer that question and say yes? Can I say yes to that question? If I cannot say yes to that question, then I have no reason to be fucking around. Because I mean, if my business doesn't grow without me having to be there, then my business is not going to sell at a high multiple, which is ultimately what I want to do, is exit the business at like a 6 to 8 multiple, owners take home at least $1 million a month. So that's good stuff right there. Which, that's a really nice company, but that takes years to build. So this is the days and the days where I'm not sacrificing, but these are the days I'm paying forward to, those days where I get to fucking enjoy myself and do my own things. But honestly, this is what I love to do, is to build solutions for these problems, to be able to allow people to get out of their financial situations, to help people achieve financial freedom. So that's kind of our goal here, is to do that. My goal is not really to be on a beach. It's cool for like a day or two, then it honestly gets kind of fucking boring. It's like, it's cool for a day or two, and then it's like, either we switch locations or I'm not staying at this place anymore. I know people are living like nomads, and they just like, or digital nomads was what they call themselves. And they're living their best life, and they're also making a shit ton of money. That's kind of where what I want to do. I want to kind of take my mom across the world. She actually hates traveling, so it's probably not the best idea. But I do want to get her like a maid, a nice house, and all these things. So what I want to plan to do for my family is to build, kind of expand a house, fully remodel our house, do new construction, have like a guest house for the maid, and for my mom to stress a lot less. I want to remodel all the restaurants we have. We have like 6 restaurants right now. I want to remodel all the restaurants, redo all the menus, new food, new design, new marketing, have a manager in place for all of them, have a general manager in place for all the restaurants, and then for my dad or my mom specifically, because my dad just wants to work, which is totally fine. But my mom, I want her to be able to live pretty much stress-free. I want her to focus on her sleep more. I want her to live a much better life than to worry about work or anything like that. So that's kind of the goal here, and that's what keeps me going, is really them. It's a very selfless goal. But right now I have to be very selfish with my time to be able to be very selfless later. Because I want to pretty much give as much as I can to my parents, because they've done so much for me. and for the people who've actually, actually took care of me when I was a child and raising me. So that's kind of my goal, and maybe there's an edit of me in the future. Actually, there will be. I'm not gonna say maybe. There will be an edit made of me in the future. Probably this clip in this video, and it's just gonna cut to fucking something insane. And he's living his best life, and then you have a clip of my mom, super happy because I finally achieved something massive in my life and changed my family's pretty much generation forever. And to be that person who makes a disruption in their family's generation is that you have to do something you've never done before. You have to get shit you've never had. You have to do shit you've never done. It's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Is it will go for anything. Is if you do not get uncomfortable, if you don't want to be exceptional, then don't even try. If you want to be exceptional, you cannot be normal. You have to be very uncommon. And like David Goggins said, uncommon amongst uncommon people. I am very uncommon. Extremely uncommon. I know tech and I know real estate. I know them both well. I'm a great integrator. And I'm young, I'm driven. Young and driven is the two most powerful things as an entrepreneur, is being young. So the reason why being young is an absolute advantage in the business world, or really any career or anything that you do, is because you can fail so many damn fucking times and have no repercussions for it. That you can have that feedback loop so much quicker. So I can learn and not have to worry about, oh fuck, I have a child to feed, or I have rent due. Like, I don't have to worry about that. I still live with my parents, and I don't feel the need to move out right now. I'd rather stay with my parents. I don't have a problem with that. They don't have a problem with me. I love being with them. I love still being with my siblings. They still got a couple more years in school, so I have no point in moving out. I'd rather stay with my family and provide for them, and there's no point in me, going and getting my own, penthouse or whatever, and somewhere in Phoenix, because that's where I'd want to go if I did move out. But I really don't. I mean, I don't care enough. I can easily go, but it just won't. There's no point in doing that. So I'd rather just stay with my parents now, and not have to have that extra stress on me, and be able to just work my fucking ass off right now, and then later I will pay back my parents 100x, and they will live a very fruitful life. Is kind of my goal. So that's what motivates me. If you're wondering what motivates me in my workspace, is getting validation from my dad. And making my mom happy is really my ultimate goal in what I do, and why I keep doing what I do. I've already proved a lot of people wrong. Really, there's not a lot more people to prove wrong now. There's still a ton of people who for some reason have some doubts. Even I have some doubts in myself at some points, but that's completely normal, because if I don't have doubts, that means my dream is not big enough. And big dreams are risky, because they wouldn't be big dreams if they weren't risky. So it's okay to have doubt, and if you feel doubt, that's okay. As long as you kind of keep persistent and you're driven, it's okay to have doubt. Just don't let the doubt overtake you, but it's okay to have doubt. It means you actually care about the fucking thing you do. But there's a balance there. So that's my why, or whatever, is before it was just to prove them wrong and to just make a name for myself. Now it's to make sure my family's in good hands. And I have no problem working. I'm like my dad. I love to work. I love doing this. I love putting smiles on people's faces. I love this business. I love all the ups and downs and lefts and rights and all the things that happen, all the shit shows that happen. And the shit shows never go away. It always is a shit show. It's just a more controlled chaos. There will always be chaos in business. It will never just be comfortable and clean and such. There will always be chaos. It just gets more and more controlled, but chaos will always exist. Because if chaos doesn't exist, then your business is not growing, it's stagnant. Because providing solutions to problems is how you make money. If you have no problems, then you don't make money. It's just like if I were to ask you in your department if there's any problems, and you say there's no problems, then I know that you don't know enough about your department, because even at the highest level, brands like Coca-Cola, Apple, everywhere else, they have problems. They have problems that they solve, and they have problems that they don't know what the fuck to do for. That just happens. It's just the game of business. You're gonna solve a problem, another problem comes in, and then you're gonna solve that problem, another problem comes in. So it's like a problem solution kind of never-ending hamster wheel. And what happens is, what if we get if someone, like if, for example, 1,000 customers come in today, that will create customer fulfillment problems, and then that would create so-and-so problems, and that would create so-and-so problems. Even though I fixed the previous problem, that would generate another problem, which is part of the game of life and everything in general. But mainly business is like, if I solve a problem, another problem comes up, and it's just this repeating loop. But overall, if you plot this on a graph and you look at it at a long time horizon, you'll see that over time, you've actually drastically improved from point A to point Z, or wherever you go. But there is no ending, there is no finish line. The only finish line is really death. So, yeah, that's my speech, and I'm gonna go work now, get some work done, and hopefully I'll have some good updates when I'm back. Let's go. So just finished up some work. Probably got like 2 hours of deep solo work. It's surprising how much good work I can get done in environments like that. Even though it was loud, I just put my headphones in and I just locked in. A negative post came in the sub-2 community group. It was kind of like, what thoughts on Astro Blaster, and people were commenting like, it's the worst thing I ever invested in. I have a bad taste in my mouth, and all this stuff, and I understand where they're coming from. We definitely fell short on our support. We fell short on our marketing. There was a disconnect with really like what it was. I was never really able to communicate that even with Jamil. They promote it as like a fully AI system that there's no setup required, and it's like plug and play. That was kind of where we fucked up at. It was really setting the wrong expectations, and there was really not much I can do about it, and it's very annoying, but I mean we take full accountability for this stuff, so I mean there will be people that vouch for us in the group, but it's more negative than positive, and it's really not good to see. I honestly, I don't know. I think, man, I don't know. All I can do is continue to improve the product and There's a ton of people that are happy using the system, and there's also a ton of people that are frustrated about the system. I'm trying to eliminate that gap. It's really just expectations being set in the beginning. So it was kind of like presented as, hey, there's this plug and play AI system that automatically talks to agents. You don't have to do anything. It's all on autopilot. You get deals on autopilot, and that's just not what it is. That can be what it is. It just requires some work. An analogy I always say is that we have created the best running shoes on the market, okay? However, if you don't actually put them on and actually run with them, you will not ever get faster or even get the goal you want, whether it's to lose weight or get faster. Whatever your goal is in real estate, if you don't use my system, even if you buy it, it doesn't mean anything. I can buy the nicest running shoes ever, but that doesn't make me faster. People were set with the expectation that if they just bought the system, that they would automatically just get a wire for $10K for a wholesale deal, or just get a nice, deal on a home, and it's just not how it works. Is that a possibility with the system? Yes. But it's still at any level it requires setup, and there's only so much we can do and so much we can spoon feed to a user that it just doesn't really make sense. So what I'm kind of shooting for here is I'm gonna really hone down our support documents this weekend. So I finished out, I think we're about halfway done. I just need to get some Scribe House done and then some Loom videos done, but that shouldn't take too long. And then a couple more writing SOPs, which shouldn't take too long. It'll probably take me the whole day tomorrow to do. But again, it's the most fruitful thing to do for your business. Next project on the board is making sure our A2P process is pretty streamlined, which we're actually waiting on a feature to be released. So we work with Extendly, and they have like a portal, and in that portal, we want, like, it's called an onboarding engine, and pretty much when a new user comes on and they first sign in, they get greeted with this onboarding engine. Now, this is not natively part of Go High Level, but it's like a form that gets presented to them when they actually log into the system. I believe I should probably test that out before I go deeper into it, but that's kind of, I guess, how it works. What I want to do is collect the customer's EIN paper or EIN doc on this onboarding engine, so that we can get them A2P approved for brand and campaign. Because every time they do it, or every time there's a disconnect here, they always get rejected. And our current process right now is a lesson within a course that has a link, and then that link has a form. So it's kind of definitely a messy process, definitely not the most optimal process. Now, to be honest here, I very much take 100% accountability for every place we fell short at, and the team's working as hard as possible to make sure that we meet the expectations we're trying to meet the unrealistic expectations that have been set by the people who market our system. So really, fulfillment is also tied with the marketing side. So churn happens when there's a disconnect between pretty much the value they get and the price they're paying. So if they think that the value they're getting is lower than the price they're paying, they're going to churn. That's pretty much how churn works. It's just if the value they're getting is lower or even equal to what they're paying for, they are going to cancel, or even worse, they refund, which is obviously the worst case scenario. It's not been pretty at all. It's absolutely not been pretty. This past year, we've refunded probably $250,000 in sales due to our lack of support, which again is not intentional. We're very new. I would still consider us very new. We've only been in this space for just about a year now, and it was just, man, it was just insane. I was during the day of the AI Challenge launch. I was in Galveston with my friends to celebrate a birthday party, and I I don't think anyone expected this. I mean, I expected a high amount of users, but 1,200 people came on at one time, and it was just absolutely out of this world. And it definitely put a lot of stress on the team, myself, having to onboard that many people on a system that requires one-on-one support is pretty difficult with the team size we had and just the resources we did have and just the amount of time we had to prepare for something like this. So that's in the past, So what I'm gonna do is really this week is finish our support docs and make sure they're maintained and delegated to a team member. So I'm pretty much going to record myself, hey, this is how you update the support document SOPs properly. So I'm going to do it for them right now to get the base foundation, and I'm going to teach them how to continue to have maintenance towards it. So that's going to be pretty much delegated to another team member. And then next thing would be A2P. Now A2P is super simple. We already have like kind of the process for it, but we haven't actually built the formal playbook. So we're going to build a formal playbook for that. And then next thing on the books is calling all the people who churned. Okay, it's about 1,000 something people that churned. I've never shared that number publicly, but 1,000 members have churned Astro Blaster. And in our lifetime, we've, I think, had 2,500 users, and now I think we're only at like 1,200, 1,500 users, which is still a lot, and I'm very grateful for that. But we could have done better, a lot better, and we fell short as a software company. So what we're doing is we're reviewing. We pretty much, this is about 4 or 5 months ago, was we implemented cancellation forms. So like, why did you cancel? What was the reason there? Is there anything we could do to improve? So we started implementing success manager calls. So each person, it gets an assigned success manager. That is more overhead for us, but that also means, a better personal connection with the user and understanding their use case and keeping them a lot more accountable with their system. Because before it'd kind of be on their own pace, but now with the implementation of the success managers, they're held a lot more accountable. But besides that, there is still a lot more that needs to be done. Support is getting better by the day, so we have live chat support now. We have 24/7 live chat, under a 2-minute response time, sometimes 60 seconds. And right now, I'm pretty much just building these SOPs so that they can answer questions on my behalf with our SOPs. So I'm trying to make it as detailed as possible, so that they can pretty much be like me, but multiplied to 100 Andys. So support is getting better. So that was one of the reasons for, probably one of the bigger reasons, the biggest contact drivers for churn. So that's something that we have rigorously worked on for the past couple months, was making sure that, one, the biggest problem was people were kind of given too many options to reach out to us. They had the Facebook group to reach out to us, and then they DM'd our support managers, and then they wouldn't check their Facebook DMs because why would they? And then they'd reach out to a dead email. They'd reach out to a form that we have on our page, and then they'd reach out pretty much any way they can. And like, they would reach out through phone, through email, and all these different places. And we were kind of just hanging in there. And what happened was, since they had so many options, they expected the same response time, the same level of service per each channel. So what we did now is we only offer live chat support, and that is available to everyone that has access to your system. And if you are a user, you have access to your system. So if you don't have access, here's how we actually provide support. We have a support email, and that is only designated for login and billing purposes. Now, so live chat is really the best way to get in contact with us, and it's been a game changer. So we're deleting pretty much any Facebook support requests that gets posted in the group, any support questions that get posted in the group, because that's not the place to get answers. The place that gets answers is in our actual live chat. So that's like the best place. And then people will email me directly, which, I'll answer questions on there, but I don't have those 2-minute response times. I may get back to you in 2 days, but that's not intentional. It's just because I get flooded with emails and have a lot more other things to do for the company. So that's one of the things that we are drastically improving on is customer support and providing a better customer support service. Bless me. Another thing that I do want to mention here is that there was a disconnect for some reason with the billing. So people thought they would just pay one time and then one time only, and then they never had to pay again. Well, for some reason there was a disconnect on how much you actually pay you have to actually pay us a subscription every month. It's at $97. And for some reason, there's a huge and this is like me disconnected from like the software stuff. It's like, dude, this system can easily make you 10 grand a month. Very easy. And then someone's worried about a $97 subscription. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Or even $1,000. Like, if something can generate you, we have a user right now that did $200,000 last year, and I didn't upsell him. I didn't sell him anything extra. Nada. And he made $200,000 last year. There's another person that used our system in Las Vegas, did like a $40,000 deal, bigger than the deal I've ever did with Astro Blaster. Mine was $40K, and that came from Astro Blaster. And people are complaining about $1,000 one-time setup fee. It's ridiculous. But aside from that, we again tried to give as much value as possible with the most reasonable price. So $1,000 for something that can make you 10,000 over and over and over again is an absolute no-brainer. But I try my best all the time. I absolutely just push myself to limits all the time. What I want to do here is just make sure our system really meets expectations of our users. So with that being said, Offer Blaster, what I'm going to do is, the beta test is going to be my company and not users. Because the thing is, I will be able to control the tests, and honestly, I'll just release the alpha version when I feel like it's ready for an alpha version. Because I never did fucking beta tests with my first launch ever. And I got 60 people that are all happy with it. I was the beta tester, and I was the only beta tester because I knew everything about it. So I think that's a lesson I learned, was for the next times, what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to do like a beta launch. I'm just going to test it myself very rigorously because I can control all the variables. I know the system front and back. I don't need to wait for people to actually learn the system and actually do all these things. I can do that all myself, and I can, test it whenever I want. And I can control all the variables. So I think that's for sure how I'm going to move now. It's, it's a lot more work intensive, but it saves a lot of time and energy in the long run.
the total amount of time you just have to spend actually learning the system and doing anything. I want to be the test dummy. I want to be the person that actually, has a taste of my own medicine. So I'm going to be the beta tester, and I'll decide when it's ready for an alpha release. So no more beta test. My beta test is me, my own company, because I can control all the variables, and I can control, when I can test it or not. So that's where we're kind of moving to. Now the third biggest reason for cancellations or I guess churn, is going to be, so we got lack of support, system discrepancy with how it's marketed, and then third probably was billing, which we can provide more clarity on, but I don't understand. Like I thought it was kind of common sense that you'd have to pay for SMS costs when you're using a platform like this. I guess not. So what we did was, I don't know if this is the absolute way to solve this problem, but we started having, or I guess we implemented, I have a lesson on the billing, the wallet side of things now. So now users understand that there is a wallet system here. So that can provide a bit more clarity on things. And really that's the main things. And then like with ATP stuff, that's good. I feel like I'm very close to cracking this code, and I've been trying to crack this code for almost a fucking year now. And it's just, this whole thing has definitely shaved a couple years off my life. I've been stressing about it a lot. Mainly because that's not me. I don't want to be known as the company that is is no bueno. I don't want to be known as the shit company. I want to be known as dude, the Andy's company, they are the fucking shit, and I'll vouch for them any fucking day. And I do have people like that right now, but it's not a majority. And I don't know if I'll ever get to a majority amount, but right now it feels like the majority is people who don't I guess see value in our system, which I can say full-heartedly that there is, because over $1 million in assignment fees have been done with the system. Okay, there has been hundreds of people who have given us amazing, beautiful testimonials, and that's just also the reality of starting and launching a SaaS company, is that a SaaS company is the highest valued multiple, or highest valued company in the investor space when they're buying companies. However, it's the most risk intensive, it's the most risky, the most capital required, and the most work to actually get up and running, because the biggest reason why SaaS companies aren't valued the way they are is usually because of churn, and usually because it's very founder dependent. But when you do it right, you get multiples of fucking 8+. It's like if your company makes $1 million a year take home, then it'd be worth $8 million. So that's insane. So that's kind of where I've been lately, is really focusing on this and getting it solved once and for all. So Jamil is working really hard on the marketing side of things and making sure that, we get organically users coming in. I'm focused on the back end side of the company, making sure that customers don't actually leave, which is a very hard thing to do when there's a disconnect between product and marketing. So that's really important. If you're starting a SaaS company, make sure that the marketing department and the product department are very aligned together, as far as this is what the product actually does. This is what it is. Here's the data, so that the marketing side of things can communicate expectations a lot better to prospective, people. So that's really my rant for this stuff. I again try my absolute best into providing the highest level of service, and I have no ill intentions of ever providing any sort of bad service. I knock myself over every time I see anyone saying anything bad. I never talk back to them. I always try to understand the situation that they're going through, and I always try to diagnose it ASAP and make sure that they don't just stay with a bad taste in their mouth, because that hurts my company very terribly. And two, I even if it was not the company, it's just my name is also tied to it. Oh my god, I just killed a fucking possum. Or they just killed, not me, but someone just killed a possum. It's just like, hang in there. I hate possums. Good for him, but or her. Hope he lives on. But other than that, I'm pretty much very. Spring break is coming up, and friends are inviting me out to go to Florida. Would love to go. I probably will end up going, but man, until I won't be doing anything sort of fun until then, and even then I'll be working very hard. It's just like I'm almost terrified of not working, which is in some people's eyes a terrible mindset to have, because it's like, oh, you're so attached to your business, and like it seems like there's actually a bigger problem, which yes there is. It's people churning, and people churn means canceling, so people canceling their subscriptions. And if you didn't know this, for SaaS companies, it's what was I going to say? For SaaS companies, if your churn is over 10% for annuals, okay, I'm talking about annual. If your annual churn is more than 10%, you will not be valued as a SaaS company. Rather, you'll be valued as a service company, which is obviously a lot less in multiples than a SaaS company. There are very few SaaS companies that have actually achieved an 8 to 12 multiple. That is extremely, extremely difficult to do, and I understand why now. It is very hard to do. Even Alex Hormozi talks about it. It's like the level of talent required to actually build a SaaS company that people actually stick to is so much harder than having a service-based company. So I say we're a SaaS company, but we're really a service company. That's how we're just looked at. I want to say we're a SaaS company, but that's how we're, I guess, looked at. That's kind of where I'm at here. Just gonna continue to trot on and move along as a team. We're gonna get a new product person, a new CSM. Our overhead was gonna drive up a little bit, but I don't really care. We don't make money off subscriptions. We make money off the launches. Subscriptions just keep the lights on. So that's really the reality of running any company, is that it's not a lot of times sunshine and rainbows. Most of the time it's fucking storming hard as fuck. There's fucking hailstorms. It's fucking tornadoes going on. It's fucking Category 5 hurricanes. And there's not a lot of places as an entrepreneur to vent. And this is one of my ways to vent, is through a fucking YouTube channel. Because maybe there's another entrepreneur out there that can relate to this. Is that no one really understands this amount of stress, and if you talk about this with other entrepreneurs, it's almost like a sign of weakness. But this is just what's real. What's real is that not a lot of the entrepreneur journey is sunshine and rainbows. It's going to be stormy most of the times, but we as entrepreneurs must see the light that is coming through the clouds of the stormy clouds. It's a terrible analogy, but I hope another entrepreneur out there can understand me and be able to relate to me, because I can't talk about this with my mom or dad because they don't understand me, or even any other people. But everyone can relate to struggle. So I hope you can relate to this video, because I usually never become this vulnerable. I've always been taught that it was weak, but this is my only way to really vent, and you know, sometimes you just gotta let people vent. This was a lesson that was taught to me a while ago, was that, you know, some people just want to be fucking hurt, and that's all. You don't have to, you know, understand them and agree with them, but they just you just gotta let them vent sometimes, and just let them do their thing, and just sit there and just listen to them. And that does a lot for another human being. It's just sitting there and actually paying attention to someone. That does, even if you don't agree with them, just sitting there and listening to their side of things and their perspective on stuff is the love language in any fucking language, is understanding someone else, or at least just sitting there and being appreciative of them, sitting there and listening to them, and not just like wanting to get your side of things to them, is actually just letting them talk and understanding what they're trying to say, instead of just nodding your head and just acting like you understand. This is disrespectful, and it's just very not nice. So that's that. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Longer video today, so hope you didn't fall asleep during this. But yeah, that's the raw reality of being an 18-year-old entrepreneur that runs a SaaS company. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.